What if the person quietly trying to pull you down never once raised their voice? What if their jealousy never looked like anger at all, but like a simple, innocent question? Here's the unsettling truth. Jealous people almost never admit what they feel. They hide it. They dress it up. They reshape it into curiosity, into interest, sometimes even into a compliment. But behind certain questions hides a silent comparison. Behind certain smiles, a quiet wound. Friedrich Nietzsche spent much of his life studying this exact feeling, what he called ressentiment, the envy that turns inward and curdles into resentment of those who rise. In the next few minutes, I'll hand you the 5 questions jealous people almost always ask. Once you hear them, you can't unhear them. And that changes everything, because recognizing the signal means taking back your power, sharpening your emotional intelligence, and protecting the one thing they're really after, your energy. Stay with me to the end because the 5th question is the one almost nobody notices. 1. You just got lucky, didn't you? It sounds harmless. It isn't. When someone shrinks your success down to luck, they quietly erase the work behind it. You earned the promotion. You got lucky with your boss. Your project took off. Right place, right time. Behind that little word, luck, is someone who can't afford to believe your win was deserved. Because if your success came from skill and discipline, then their stalled life becomes their own responsibility. Luck lets them off the hook. It isn't curiosity, it's self-protection. 2. Are you sure it's going to last? This is doubt wearing the mask of concern. Instead of celebrating your moment, they quietly forecast your collapse. New relationship? Are you sure it'll last? New business? The market's brutal, you know. Finally got in shape? That's hard to keep up. Jealousy doesn't just envy your rise. It secretly hopes it's temporary. Why? Because your momentum exposes their stillness. Nietzsche noticed something brutal about us. We forgive our own failures far more easily than we forgive someone else's success. Be honest, has anyone ever asked you this exact question? Hold that thought. 3. So how much do you actually make? Money is the most sensitive number there is. When someone keeps circling back to it, they're rarely curious. They're measuring. Numbers let them rank you. Am I above or below? If your answer lands higher than they hoped, watch what happens. Suddenly the topic changes, or the achievement gets quietly minimized. Jealousy can't sit with a gap that doesn't favor it. We all know comparison is the thief of joy. But for an insecure mind, comparison isn't a habit. It's an obsession. 4. Aren't you afraid you'll fail? This one sounds like care. Sometimes it even sounds like wisdom. But often it's a projection of their own fear, handed to you as advice. The person asking hesitates. They play it safe. They never quite take the leap. So watching you move, risk, begin. It holds up an uncomfortable mirror. And aren't you afraid you'll fail? Quietly translates to, I'd be too scared to even try. This is exactly the ground Nietzsche cared about most. The courage to become who you are, to walk your own road. Jealousy almost always shows up around the people brave enough to actually live. 5. Why you? This is the quietest one of all. Most of the time it's never even spoken, only thought. Why him? Why her? Why not me? And here's the heart of it. It was never really about your success. It's about a feeling of injustice. Jealousy compares results while ignoring the price. It sees the trophy and skips the years of invisible work, the failures nobody clapped for, the nights you almost quit. Every visible victory hides an invisible cost. So what's really going on underneath all of this? Here's the part that might surprise you. Jealousy usually isn't cruelty. It's a symptom of low self-worth. Someone genuinely aligned with their own path doesn't feel threatened when you win. But a person at war with themselves reads every success around them as a personal attack. That's why these questions surface. They're trying to close a gap, to restore a fragile inner balance, to protect an ego that's quietly hurting. Understanding that doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you finally see past the mask. So how do you respond? 1. Don't over-explain yourself. 2. Never shrink your wins to make someone else comfortable. 3. Stay calm and certain. 4. Set a boundary when you need to. 5. Keep moving. The strongest answer to jealousy was never confrontation. It's quiet, unbothered confidence. The more rooted you are in your own worth, the less these questions can touch you. And why does this matter so much right now? Because we live inside a comparison machine. Every win is broadcast. Every step forward is on display. Modern jealousy is amplified like never before. Learning to read it doesn't just protect your peace. It sharpens your relationships, defends your energy, and speeds up your own growth. So remember this, my friend. A jealous person will never say, "I'm jealous." They'll ask questions instead. Questions that minimize, questions that doubt, questions that compare. But here's the reframe that changes everything. The jealousy of others is often just a reflection of your own progress. If someone suddenly starts poking at your success, your happiness, or your ambition, that might not be a coincidence. It might be proof that you're moving. Your job was never to make smaller people comfortable. Your job is to become fully, unapologetically yourself. And that will always unsettle the ones who never dared. If even one of these 5 questions sounded familiar, drop its number in the comments. I read every single one. And if this gave you a new way to see the people around you, subscribe, because the next video might just change how you see yourself.